Alright guys, so this one's going to be a super fast video. Hopefully I can do it in 5 minutes. So today we're going to be working on OR compound inequalities. And I want you guys, the main thing, you can see the OR and then you can see my inequality highlighted. The reason why I highlighted the inequality is very simple. So in this case, you're going to have to make sure that your inequality looks like this. Now, it's going to be kind of weird sometimes. So I'm just going to try and describe it to you as simple as possible. I want you guys to look at the close section of your inequality, the very edge right here. That one, look at that one. That one's that's going to tell you what kind of inequality or compound inequality you have. Are you going to have an N or are you going to have an OR? So whenever that little close section of your inequality is looking away, meaning it's looking at the number over here, it's not looking at my absolute value, then that means that I'm gonna have an OR, compound inequality. That's what it's telling me. And what does that mean? What's an OR compound inequality? I want you guys to look over here at what I just put it squared on. Now your answer is gonna look just like that. Your answer is gonna look like that. You're gonna have your 2 points and they're gonna be looking away from each other. And that's it. That's all it means whenever you have an OR compound inequality. So let's look at a problem. Now, I'm going to show you this problem, and then I'm going to rearrange it a little bit just so you guys know what's going on. Okay, so I want you to look at where my inequality is looking. That little point arrow is looking at my number, so it's looking away. So we can actually work ahead. But this type of problem can be written in 2 different ways. And they do this a lot on the textbook. And they're going to do this a lot whenever you're taking a test. So that is the exact same thing as if you had this. 2x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 6. Both of the equations, they mean exactly the same thing, but they just written differently. Okay? They're exactly the same problem, they just rewrote it differently. I'm going to be working on the one that they gave us right here, but just know that they actually flip it on you sometimes. So I just want you guys to get used to doing the problems in whatever way they do them, and just go ahead and work it whichever way they give it to you, because that's going to help you guys just to fully understand what's going on. If you have to change it every single time, then you're just going to get used to one way. But if you work both of them different ways, then you should be good. So I already spoke a lot. Let's go ahead and solve the problems. So if you remember, whenever we solve absolute value equations, we got to make sure that absolute value is by itself. So in this case, got to make sure this is by itself. Nothing's in front or nothing's on the side. So this is a perfect case. I don't have anything in front and I don't have anything on the side. So I can actually go ahead and do step number 2. Step number 2 is just write your 2 equations. My first equation is going to be the same thing. The only thing I'm gonna change is I'm gonna be taking out my lines. Now for the second one, if you remember, we have to change the sign on the number, and also because we're talking about inequalities, I have to change my sign on my actual inequality. So for this one, we actually do have to change it. So x minus 4. Okay, we're done setting it up. Now all we have to do is just solve for x. We've been doing this so many times that this should be easy work. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move whatever the 4. So I'm gonna do plus 4. I'm gonna work on the one that's on the right side. So those two are gonna cancel out. Now I have -6 and 4. Because they're different sizes, I'm gonna subtract. So in this case, I'm gonna get -2. It's gonna be greater than or equal to 2x. Now in order to get rid of the 2, I'm gonna go ahead and divide both of them by 2. And I have -1 is greater than or equal to x. And I'm going to show you how you actually read them later. So right now, just keep it like that. Now the other side, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Plus 4, plus 4. Now because both of the signs are the same, I'm going to add them. And because both of them are positive, it's going to be a positive 10. Then I'm going to put my inequality. And I have the 2x. Again, I'm going to have to divide by 2. And finally, I have 5 is less than or equal to x. Now, whenever we do our line, we need to understand what's going on, right? I'm going to go ahead and do my line. I'm going to put 0 in the middle. I'm going to put my -1 right here. Okay, that's not where -1 should go. -1 goes at the very beginning, and 5 should go like around here. Okay, I have my number line already set up. All I have to do is put my points. So because I have a line below my inequality, that means I'm going to have closed circles. So I'm going to put closed circles on my 2 points. And now I'm going to show you how to read this. You always start with the x, and you go from x to whatever direction you have it. So I'm going to start from the x and read it the other way. So that means x is greater than or equal to 5. That means that this one's going to go to the right. Now I'm going to look at the second one. I'm going to start with x again, and I'm going to read it going this direction. Okay, you always start with your variable and you read it that way. So it's going to be x is less than -1. So whenever we go to -1, it means that x is going to be less than. And that's my answer. This is an OR compound inequality. Means that I have, my answer can be this, or it can be this. Okay, that's all it means. So that's my answer for that one. I'm already taking too long, so I'm going to try and wrap it up in the next minute. So the next problem I want you guys to go ahead and look is the following. Now, every time you get a problem like this, it's going to be very easy for you to do your answer. Now, you're going to notice that I have a -1 in front of my inequality. Now, I'm going to write the two scenarios so you can have this. Okay? Just so you guys don't get confused. This is an OR, and this is going to be an AND. Now, whenever you have this type of problem on an AND, meaning your inequality, and then you have a negative, then you have no solution. Now, if you get it on an OR problem, meaning your inequality looks like this, and you have a negative, then your answer is actually going to be infinite solutions. And your number line is going to look like this. 0, -infinity, infinity, and it's just going to be this and this. And that's your answer. Okay, that's a special case, and that's all. All right. So next one, I'm just going to show you like the difference between AND and OR, and that's going to be it.